Welcome to a series of podcasts discussing series of films.
I'm Matt.
I'm Dave.
In a world inundated with prequels, sequels, spin-offs, and reboots, we ask the question,
Do we need one more? I think we do.
I think we don't.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, Dave.
Don't tell Grandma.
Oh, God. What have we done to ourselves?
I think we changed our lives.
We had a really good time. At least I did.
I didn't say we changed it for the better.
That's true. We just changed it.
We just changed it.
We just changed it.
I am forever changed.
Well, so let's just...
What are we doing this week, Matt?
What are we
What was our
doing this
plan?
week? Well, so...
Why did we do this?
So we are currently within our Superman series where
Yes.
we're discussing the films that stars Superman as a protagonist.
Yes. All the solo ventures.
This one
And then some.
does not do that, but we're talking about it because it is interesting that in the space between Superman 4, The Quest for Peace,
Yes.
and Superman Returns, guess
Yes.
what, he's back, there were several attempts to
Yes.
try to bring Superman back.
Yes. One being the infamous Nick Cage, Tim Burton
Yes.
venture.
And there's some other ones. I'm sure we'll get into that next week with Superman Returns. Those are more
Yeah.
directly correlated to that
Yeah,
one.
there's like the Abrams, and then apparently McGee was attached to one.
Yes. There's a Batman versus Superman that was
Yes.
talked about, a whole bunch of stuff that we'll get into next week.
Yes.
But yeah, there was the Tim Burton one is probably the most specific
Very relevant to this
after
today's episode.
Yes. In between,
as today's movie is partially responsible for killing that project.
yes. So basically, the reason we're covering this is, one, we thought it would be fun to discuss.
Yes. Tell the people what we're doing today.
We're talking about Steel, baby.
1997, Shaq Attack.
Remember when Shaquille O'Neal was in movies?
Remember when he memorized lines?
Hey, listen.
And then recited them?
I'm not going to make the argument that Shaquille O'Neal is a good actor, but I am going to say that, boy, do I love watching him.
I would say it's fair to say that he is an on-screen presence.
Yes, in that he is on screen.
And that he is a presence to
And
behold.
I'm not trying to diss Shaq. I bet, like, he's a big Superman fan.
He is a huge Superman fan. He's sporting the tattoo in this
yes,
movie, man.
the tattoo is real.
When he's doing his best RDJ impression. Like,
They really... It was,
I was going to say, weirdly, this movie, I think you could argue this inspired a lot of moments in other movies, which is weird because it's like there's other movies that come out later that do scenes exactly from this.
what I think
And
is...
I don't know where the like starting point is
Sure.
from it, but I mean, this movie also, it's like kind of a thinly veiled, like it's so like, right. Steel he's sort of a Superman knockoff, but in this, he's
Yes.
kind of a Batman knockoff.
Yeah, it's... So for those who...
It wants to do both.
are not aware of the comic books.
Yes, John
and
Henry Irons.
yes, Steel. And so the way he basically came about is is it late 80s, early 90s, right?
Yeah,
We
Death of
do-
Superman was like 93, I
Thank
think.
you. So they
Early
decide, hey, Superman, how do we make him interesting? Like, how do we reinvent him?
Yeah, the mullet
And
didn't work.
The answer was kill him.
How do we make this better? Ending it.
Making him dead. And so they did that. And the whole idea is that in the stories that post the death of Superman, that there are, for lack of a better word, copycats. There are variations of people who are taking
inspired by his sacrifice,
Yes.
take up the mantle of the Man of
acolytes
Steel.
of
Yeah.
sorts. One of them being Superboy, one of them being the Eradicator.
Who's the Eradicator? I haven't heard of this man.
The Eradicator is looks like Superman, but has like
is he the
Goggins
goggle
glasses.
Okay,
over
well,
his
now that
face.
you said that, I really want him to play that version.
That would be fun.
In the gun
Well,
verse.
he would actually, I will say, Goggins actually, I think, also would be really good as Cyborg Superman, as Hank Henshaw.
Oh, that's actually
would be fun.
fantastic.
If he's like, I'm a good guy, and then he's like, and just becomes like an evil demon.
I would watch that. I would watch him as Metallo. I think that
would be fun.
That'd be pretty, like, turn me back. We can't do that.
He would be good as that. But And one of them is John Henry Irons' Steel, who has basically like an Iron Man suit.
Yeah, he's basically, he uses the Iron Man arc to become a Superman.
He has a big S on his chest for like Superman.
He's got a big S and
he's got a big red cape, and he's got a big hammer.
Yeah.
In
it's
this
cool
movie,
look. I really like it.
He does not have the S.
No.
He does not have the cape.
Yeah. Well, do we count the tattoo? The people can't see that, so
that's true. It's the thing on the suit is where I'll make this specification. You know, he's more like a knight.
Yeah, he's got the chainmail too.
He does have
kind of a fun touch.
As a note, do not like that his palms are open.
No, that was I didn't like it. It felt really vulnerable and like it kind of felt like
it's a weird detail.
It's kind of like you're getting flashed by the palms of his hands.
Well, it's also like fingerless gloves, like in superhero movies, and I say that as a group of filmmakers who made fan films with characters with fingerless gloves.
Yeah, the cops will never find him.
That's the thing.
Even though he's a 7-foot giant running around LA on a motorcycle.
Okay, we'll get into it. My favorite thing is that we don't pretend that Shaq is a regular man.
They are very aware of his height.
Well, there are multiple moments where people are like, "Yeah, it's obviously him." We don't have to. We're not gonna like rat him out, but like, fucking, he's the only 7-foot.
Yeah, he's the only giant in this city.
But so they are, and I say this word like a faint whisper, like a flavor of LaCroix. They are adapting
that, like strawberry
Steel.
Yeah,
adapting in that his name is John Henry Irons. There are references to Superman, but Superman and Batman exist as fictional characters in this.
Yes, presumably, since he has the tattoo.
Cut to Jane,
which
Silent
is just
Bob,
a Shaq thing ultimately.
But like there's a Batman Forever arcade game.
There are, yeah.
You know, at one point,
this movie takes place in the real world, Matt.
Of course,
in real LA.
That's right. And Judd Nelson is a catty little bitch in this. I love it.
He is. We got John Bender. We got Ray J. We got Richard Roundtree. Who's amazing in Thelma. I should say. He made me cry in that movie.
I mean, Roundtree is a legend. Rest in peace. He's a legend. But I should note, so my viewing experience with this movie, watched it this morning.
Yes.
I had a bunch of errand adult stuff that I had to do. For the first time in forever, I had to do something.
For the first time in forever.
And so I watched this movie at 6:30 in the morning so that I could make time.
You hadn't even had coffee yet.
Oh, I was drinking a Celsius. I cracked one open and I got in early and I started watching this movie. So I can't tell you whether or not I watched it or it was like a fever dream because it was so early. Oh, it's a fever dream.
It is.
And about an hour into the movie, Laura, my girlfriend, woke up, came into the living room, saw me watching it, looked at the movie, looked at me, and went, "What the fuck are you?"
And you're like, "Babe, it's for work. It's for work. I swear."
I was like, "Don't worry. There's an explanation here." What's your relationship with Steel?
So I saw it years ago as a child. Thought it ruled.
Sure.
Was kind of aware even then that it wasn't a very good movie. Mm-hmm. And upon rewatching it, also this morning, not quite as early, I was kind of disappointed it wasn't wackier or because it is a weird movie.
Yeah.
But I thought it was more committed to like the wackiness than it is. And don't get me wrong, it is like weird and wacky, and there are some odd choices, but it's kind of a boring watch.
So I agree. When it started, I was like, okay, so we're gonna this is like Batman and Robin, like we're kind of gonna do
an origin story.
We're gonna be a little crazy. And then as it kind of goes on, I was like, it kind of stops being as crazy. And then in the third act, it like kicks itself into another gear and becomes goofy again. Over. And I was like, all right, but by that point, I'm kind of disassociating.
Yeah.
Just
a little checked out.
Just jumping into the movie. Well, one, I will say I actually kind of like the theme.
The theme is a banger.
It started and I was like, oh, fuck, am I going to like this?
The composer was Mervyn Warren. I think he crushed it with the theme. I
think he did.
I think the score is great. Which Quincy Jones is a producer in this movie. Yes. So I think, having good music was a must.
I genuinely, I was like, I didn't know that this theme was that good. This movie exists in like the weird and bad superhero movie camp where like, it's kind of one that almost one of the few that like don't exist.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like there's like Batman and Robin that are like general shorthand. Like you can say that.
Yeah.
This is one where like I feel like if you know, you know.
Yeah.
Like it's like people know Shaquille O'Neal was in movies.
Yeah.
But Steel is one where I feel like it kind of almost slipped under the radar. It's not like Howard the Duck where you bring that up.
Well, yeah, because that's
like,
another shorthand for like let's
do
avoid this. Like Steel is like was kind of bad but invisible.
Yeah.
It had like a $16 million budget and it made like 1.8.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Low number.
Yeah, low number.
I mean, it's
low budget. But... Like the bar wasn't very high and it did not do well at all. But yeah, this was part of like a string of flops that Warner Brothers had produced.
Nice.
And ostensibly is why they canceled Superman Lives with Nick Cage.
Fair. Which I will say, if we're talking about good comic book stuff, Death of Superman Lives, the documentary, wonderful. Yeah. Really good.
Did you watch it on YouTube as well?
I did. Well, that's the only way I could find it. Other than just buying the physical media, which I do want to buy. But at the time that I watched it, I did not have. I didn't have it. Yeah,
I tried to look it up on like the Roku search.
Yeah,
and then just didn't come up for me.
But highly recommend. It's a really great
it is a really good watch. So they break down like all the concept art and all the different drafts. Like I kind of thought Kevin Smith had like written the whole thing they were gonna do, and it turns out he just wrote like the first draft and then proceeded to get fired, and then he just rewrote it a million times.
Yeah, he gets booted relatively quick.
Yeah, relatively early.
But I did want to say, jumping into the movie, when the trees started to fall over, did you also think it was going to be Shaq pushing them with his bare hands?
A little bit. I thought it was going to be kind of like Commando, where Schwarzenegger's like dragging the log. Like I thought it was going to be one of those like, look at this big man.
I smiled.
Look at this mighty guy.
I was like, oh, let's do it. And then it was a tank, and I was like bummed.
I know.
Was like,
yeah, I will say the one thing about this movie, I mean, we like our big guys in coats, but there's no coat in this movie.
No.
So it's ranking kind of low because of that.
I am willing to give Shaq an honorary inclusion just because of how big he is.
He's so big, he's kind of hard to ignore.
He's so big, it's like no coat. Could we find a coat? Do you know what I mean?
Could we find a coat? Hey, I mean, he built like a medieval suit of armor.
Chainmail is kind of a
coat.
Does a
coat of arms count?
Oh, you bring up such an interesting point.
How strict are the rules on the big guy in a coat club?
Well, considering that it is a club that I have created, I'm willing to be pretty liberal.
The Girl Scouts of America be part of the Boy Scouts?
Hey, well, listen. They are now, I think.
Are they?
Yeah, Girls
Scouts. That's how that ended.
Okay. One day we'll talk about me being a Boy Scout and all the opinions that I have on it.
Today is that day.
Oh no. Yeah, I think I would put him in the. He's big.
He is.
He's a big guy.
My third note is he's so big.
Not
he's with an apostrophe s, just he. He's so big.
What do I have? Yeah, I literally have God Shaq is huge. Well, also because Judd Nelson is 5'10", so not short.
No, that's like my height.
That's pretty, like, I would say tall.
It's decently tall.
And
that's above average.
And Shaq just fucking.
I know.
Just shadows.
just an eclipse everywhere he goes.
It literally looks like the opening.
They're like, it's hot out here. I need to find shade. He's just like, who's behind me right now?
Like when they're
Sparky, move. When
they're like talking to each other in the hallway after the court scene, I was like, oh my god, Judd Nelson is like poking. He's like,
I like that he's trying to be a little like, I'll fight you, and you're like, are you? That man will squish your head.
He's talking like he's like the kid at the deep end of the pool, like with their head up, like proving that they can like stand up in there. But yeah, so John Henry Irons is a military scientist. He's a weapons designer.
Yeah.
He chooses
along with his sidekick / not lover, just a friend.
Yeah. By the way,
just a friend. This finger thing made me uncomfortable every time they did it.
Yeah, same. Also, Sparky, don't like that.
Is she a dog?
Well, okay. Laura had this thing where she was
I kind of wanted him to step on her on accident and have her go like, yeet.
Well, okay, so there is a dog in this movie, and the dog is named Lily. And Laura at one point was like, did they like fuck up the script?
The dog was supposed to be a weapons
designer?
But
no, but she was like, there must have been a point where the dog was Sparky and the woman was named Lily, and they accidentally switched it.
John Peters was like, hear me out. You swap them.
There's at one point where they say that
and he fights a giant spider.
Her last name is Sparks, which is where that comes from. But I don't like anybody. It didn't work.
I didn't like it. I didn't that and the finger thing. Really, I was like.
I also will say, and to put this, so this
did the Jeopardy theme.
So this movie is written and directed by. It's an auteur joint. It's written and directed by Kenneth Johnson.
Yes. Who, I looked up his credits, but I kind of forgot.
So don't know anything about him. I'm not trying to speak super ill, but just looking at his credits.
Sounds like you're about to talk mad shit.
I am about. Fuck you. No. He directed.
Invite him on the podcast just to get a smackdown.
He directed a lot of TV.
Yeah.
And he also directed one of the Xenon movies.
Oh, did he really?
The Disney Channel original movie, or DCOM if you don't have a lot of time.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. And I will say, even as someone who just from nostalgia does love the Xenon movies, it does feel kind of like a DCOM. Like it feels.
It does.
There's a lot of like. This feels like a TV movie.
It feels like a TV movie that probably would have done better as a TV movie. Which is that weird thing of like, this movie definitely, we already established it, bombed in theaters, but like, this feels like it would have syndicated a lot. That's actually how I watched it. I think I watched it like on TNT, like in the year like 2003 or something. Like,
yeah.
And it just like, Shaq is a big dude. Like,
totally.
Just, you're like, that had me.
But
it's like, I feel like this was on TV a lot, and it does play like a TV movie more than like a real movie.
Yeah.
Not to disrespect it.
It feels like a movie.
A movie.
But yeah.
Coming with the camera, love, pushing on his massive feet.
I think, yeah, it's just got a weird vibe. It's also kind of dark.
A little bit,
like a woman is like dropped from an elevator and killed.
Yeah. And
I was like, that isn't.
That's a weird way to get hired. That's a strange job interview for the guy that gets hired.
It's about like
that guy's a deep voice too.
Weapons to Nazis. Like it's like there's
skinheads and drug lords.
Yeah,
like
drug lords and all this other stuff. And I was like, this movie is like far too silly to be about like
just skinheads show up.
To have like literally when the Nazis showed up, Laura was at one point she was getting ready for work. Because she has a real job, and
she also has a podcast.
Yeah, she also has a yes, you're right. When the Nazis showed up, Laura was getting ready for work, and she literally like stopped. I watched her drop her makeup brush and was like, was that like her brain short circuited? And I was like, yeah, no, that was Nazis. They're just like watching all of the criminals and everyone being like, I gotta give me some of this.
I need some guns. Like it's a pizza with all the toppings. Just like
also when the way they use the internet is hilarious to me.
Which is better, them using the internet or the way Tom Cruise uses it in
Tom Cruise?
Yeah,
easy. Well, because at one point Sparky is looking up top secret weapons, and it just says top secret, and she's just like looking at it on a fucking Macintosh.
Like, did you hack the Pentagon? She's like, nah, I Googled it.
Yeah, I was like, wait, and it says like top secret in full letters, and it's just like a photo of the gun.
It's just a photo of Val Kilmer in the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Top secret.
That's pretty good. But that would be fun to do.
Sure.
But
Naked Gun's coming.
That's true. So he builds non-lethal weapons.
He builds non-lethal weapons,
which the senator says you like that it doesn't kill people. Which
he's like, and you like that it kills people?
Yeah, real and true, and a little moment of breaking from the fiction into reality there. But
some things never change.
But so Judd Nelson hooks up this sonic cannon with like. It goes to 11 now, basically.
Yeah, he does the Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
I can make it go to 11. You guys are just being pussies for not like.
Yeah, he's like, you want to see some real. He goes to the senator and is like, I know, I hooked it up with some real firepower.
Yeah.
And then kills the senator. Because the sound wave reverberates.
Yeah.
Back.
And he's not. He doesn't get fired from the military, right? He gets suspended.
He gets discharged.
Oh, he does.
He's no longer a part of the military. He should go to prison.
He should, yeah.
He paralyzed a woman and killed. He paralyzed one of his coworkers.
Caused probably millions of dollars of military damage.
Yes. He should be in jail.
Yeah.
Instantly. Like there's even a line where they're like, "You're lucky that we discharged you. Just like only discharged you." And it's like, yeah, he is lucky.
Yeah, he got off easy.
He committed several crimes.
Several, yeah.
And when he turns to Shaq and he's like, "You ratted me out," I was like, "Dude, you gotta put this is on you, buddy."
He told you not to do the thing, and then you did it and killed 2 people.
Well, he's also he's in court, and they're like, "Hey, like, who fired the weapon?" And he's like
that
Judd
guy.
Nelson. And he's like, "Well, who turned it up to have an additional notch?" And he's like, Judd Nelson, John Bender from Breakfast Club. And Judd Nelson's in the corner like, "What?"
Judd Nelson's like, dang, dang.
That's how I
Freeze
showed
frame.
to Laura. I was like, "He's this guy at the end of Breakfast Club." And she was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
But yeah, so
he peaked in high school.
Hey, well,
This is a sequel to Breakfast Club.
Do you think that Judd Nelson, because at both times it was hard for me to figure out whether Judd Nelson is phoning this in or having the fucking time of his life?
I think he's somehow doing both.
He is, right?
I think he's having as much fun as he can while also doing the minimal amount of work.
Like, there were moments where I was like,
which is a sweet zone to be in, I think.
I've never seen such a act. It is a wire, like,
It's
high wire
impressive
act.
the way he toes the line between not giving a shit and having too much fun.
No, really. There was a moment where I was like, oh, dude, he does not want to be here. And then he turned around and gave like a little like flourish. Like he kind of like had like a little fun. And I was like, wait, what? How do you feel about this movie? I'm glad he's in it.
It's got to be like I like the paycheck kind of vibe.
Yeah,
which
kinda.
I'm like, I don't know if you really got a good paycheck for this, but
Maybe.
possibly.
Maybe he got points,
60.
of which he probably would have not gotten a good paycheck.
Yeah,
because you said this movie made literally no money.
made $1 million. That's it.
I will say, with where the film industry is at right now in our current day and age, 2025, when we're recording this, it's nice to see a movie shot in LA.
Yeah,
I did appreciate that.
yeah. This movie was apparently it was a 51-day shoot, mostly nights.
51 days.
51 days. They only had Shaq for 5 weeks because he was also doing the 1996 Olympics and was committed to that. So he was like rehearsing for this and like getting ready with like an acting coach and doing basketball practice like in between everything.
I will say I should not knock his acting then, because that's tough.
Yeah, basically
Not to
by
say
the
that he
time he
would've
showed
turned
up, he
in
was like
an
he had the
Oscar-worthy
whole
thing.
script memorized, which is actually like shout out to Shaq for like putting in the work.
Yeah. I certainly don't think Shaq is phoning this in.
No,
Just
Shaq
'cause
is
he's
giving
not
it his all.
like a technically trained actor. Like
No.
and again, he's still fun to watch.
No, yeah, and to his credit, he won gold.
Hey,
he brought home the gold.
I will
Not
say,
at the box office, but
I like us referencing Shaq not being able to hit
the free
hit
throws.
hit the free throw. I don't love that it comes back at the end as like a pivotal moment.
It's his character growth as he can shoot free throws now.
It feels it's too meta of character.
It is.
growth.
I did write down like in that moment when he's like, I'm not good at the free throws. That's when the grenade should have gone off, I think. I think it should have gone.
Roll credits.
I can't do it. Boom. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
You're right.
Directed by Kenneth
If you're gonna do
Williams.
it,
Yeah.
you gotta do it.
Yeah. I think that's where the movie's officially supposed to end. But I would agree that's probably a disappointing ending.
Yeah. And then he goes in and he meets his grandmother, his mother.
Yeah. Well, after he does the free throws, or we're jumping.
Yes,
I guess
after he
we're-
does the free throws.
or
Because it's the
well,
whole
so
court thing. He goes back to
yeah. I thought because I just did the bit from the end, so I wasn't sure if you were like.
no,
'cause
fair,
I was like,
sorry,
we're not
sorry.
about to gloss over
Going
the whole
back
movie.
to the
all right?
beginning.
I don't think
going
you
back to the beginning. No, we certainly
Nothing
have some
happens.
things to discuss.
He goes to court. There's some noise,
And then it ends.
then he gets good at the free throws,
That's
and
right. That's all you need to
that's
know.
all you need. Is that he kills John Bender.
Right. Dude, he never before has a man been
more-
rocketed and blown up in quite such a way. Not since Kick-Ass.
Not since Kick-Ass. True Lies.
True Lies is a great example.
I actually didn't watch True Lies. I've only seen that clip where the guy gets rocketed at the end.
Pretty good time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he goes in.
I like
It's
that
his
we
mother
synchronized. Yeah, I think it's his grandma.
or his grandma.
He
He has a great line when
Yeah.
they're catching up.
because
And
Ray J's his brother.
yes,
Because he says at the end,
again,
he's
I
like,
watched
my
this
brother's
movie
a
at
superhero.
6:30 in the
My brother's a
morning.
superhero.
I might be able to.
Yeah.
I think it is. Yeah, they're related.
I'm getting enough from the producer. It's
It's brother. Okay.
brother and grandma. It was grandma.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh yeah, because the lines don't tell grandma. I literally.
Oh, that's right. Because I thought of Scooby Doo. Bad grandma, don't eat the kitty. I thought of that. But so
Who's the broad?
I do have a great. There's a line that I wrote down because I just thought it was so fucking funny, and Shaq delivers it with. It's just when she's like, "What are you gonna do now?" And he's like, "Nothing." He's like, "What are all these calls you're getting?" He goes, Probably job offers from weapons builders. I don't know why.
It's like foreign countries that want me to build them bad things.
I was like,
I won't do it though.
You're throwing that out way too casually.
Yeah, I just don't think weapons are for me.
Yeah, so we pick up, we see. So yeah, it seems like John Henry is kind of done with it.
He's gonna go build metal.
That's right.
Become a metal smither.
Or he's a welder.
A welder? I'm not.
I think
he
he's
doesn't
a
really do a
welder.
lot of welding, I guess.
I don't know what
pouring
he does.
things
He's working
into
with iron or smelting.
Yeah, he works. Yeah, he works at a steel mill.
He works with
probably
metal.
steel.
But Judd Nelson has decided that he will team up with one of the most 90s men on the planet.
Yeah, 90s evil Foggy Nelson.
Yes, he does look like Foggy Nelson. Yeah, you're right.
He also kind of looks like one of the henchmen from The Mask.
He does. There's one specifically.
Yeah, one specifically with the ponytail.
Yeah, that I'm trying to think of, but
not Dorian.
no, not Dorian. Of course not.
Not
and
Dorian.
not bald head.
And
with
not
the,
classic. I'm bald.
Yeah.
Turn left. Reveal. I have a small ponytail.
A man that we've invoked on this podcast
yeah,
before.
That guy has. Yeah, we have. He's got the kind of ponytail that like feels like it's got a suction cup that you like.
Yeah, it really does. It feels like you could pop
Yeah,
it
you
off.
just like stick it on the back of his head.
But so Judd Nelson has decided to go into business with someone that he knows.
Yeah.
And
Connections. That's what this industry is all about.
That's
the
true.
weapons
Hey,
industry.
it's LA, baby.
Hey, La La Land.
But he's decided to join him on his
They should have been like,
venture.
"Welcome to Tinseltown," and then like electromagnetic like fire.
That would have been fun.
That would have been the Doom on a bazooka of this movie.
Okay. There's one thing that is actually legitimately, unironically, I think pretty fucking sick, and we'll get to it later.
Now I want to know.
But
Suspense.
yeah, we're leaving it.
Leave the audience.
I'm
in
leaving you
suspense.
with
Leave 'em in
something for
suspense.
later, a little breadcrumb. But so Judd Nelson is putting machine guns into arcade machines.
Yes,
Very normal thing.
that's
to
how you do it.
That's right.
I found some in my arcade machine.
Really?
No.
Oh.
I'm a
Okay.
liar.
I gotta go. We gotta stop recording. No, but
Why?
he's decided, that he's going to do that, and he's going to use the tech that they made.
Yeah, he's just gonna recreate it because he also
make it-
had a hand in the project. But
Yes. By the way, I'm just gonna get this out of the way now. John Henry Irons should know immediately that Nathaniel Judd
Yeah.
Nelson's character is up to this
Yeah.
business. He keeps being like, I don't know how they're getting it. I was like, didn't you just watch one of your guys like? He killed someone, paralyzed your friend, and then was like got discharged, and was like, "I'm disgraced. How
He's like,
dare you?"
I'm gonna get my revenge on you.
Yeah, like, you're not even like at one point later in the movie, he goes, "I'm starting to think Nathaniel's in on it." I was like, "Just now, you just started
really,
thinking
just like
that."
the cops were like, I think he might be Steele.
Yeah, I was like, everyone is too like benefit of the doubt
Yeah,
with some of
they're
that
like,
stuff.
I don't know. I didn't see him physically there.
Big fan of Slats, the henchman with the eye patch.
Oh yeah.
Love the reveal.
Gold teeth and eye patch. He's a
Yes.
full blown LA pirate.
And I literally in the pool when they're all playing
That
pool.
man's a boat away.
When they're all playing pool, I wrote that he looks like someone from the Waterworld stunt show.
He does. He also
Yeah.
feels like he escaped from the set of Hook.
Yes, into that.
Yeah.
And all of that is a compliment. I
Yeah.
think that's cool. I like weird like henchmen. That's fun.
Your weird henchmen are the best,
Um,
especially if their hair is a detachable ponytail and a suction cup.
that's right. I will say a lot, and this is where kind of the decom thing comes in a little bit, like the TV thing, is a lot of the sequences I feel really low intensity. Specifically,
agree with
like
that.
there's the foot chase scene in the
Yeah.
beginning where Shaq is hunting down.
Yeah, they're just kind of like sauntering around, you know.
It's very slow. The first motorcycle chase, also like very slow, where he's running through the red lights and everything. I
Yeah.
was like, we are not covering this in
No.
a way that is exciting
Yeah.
or leaves me anticipating what the next moment is going to be.
And Sparky has some like real, oh no, kind of
Yeah.
cutaways.
Yeah, she's just there's a lot of
John, are you okay?
it's a lot of
John, can you hear me?
yeah, and yeah, it's and like again, Richard Roundtree, like legend,
I'm a soul train
has
dancing fool.
nothing to do.
No, he's just there being
Stands
like, I can
around.
get you things that fall off the back of trucks.
Yeah,
So I think
that's
it means he's stealing them. Yeah.
maybe
Or are they actually falling off the truck? I couldn't quite crack that line, motivationally speaking.
Yeah, because he says you'll be surprised how many things fall off the back of a truck, but it is
Kinda
said with kind of like a wink.
I'm robbing people for this.
But I don't think he's robbed.
I don't think he is though. I feel like he legitimately is just finding it in the junk. But the way he says that line, I'm not. the motivation on it really confused me.
They don't explain anything
No.
throughout, not just in
You know
regards
what?
to that.
I'm starting to think John Bender is involved in this.
I thought you were going to say that this movie's bad. Sorry. I didn't mean to bury the... I'm not trying to bury the lead. I'm just going to get that out in the open.
This movie has a 12, I think, on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, something like that.
I'll look it up right now.
But
I should be accurate. I should do my homework.
I will say, in the foot chase, despite it being pretty low intensity, when the train gets knocked over, I actually do kind of like when he rolls into the open door.
Yeah.
I was like, that's kind of
cool. Like, there's kind of like cool ideas for action sequences in this.
Yeah.
The actual execution is, like you said, very decom-y.
Obviously, it also doesn't help that Shaq is very big, which means that he's not the fastest guy.
No, but he's surprisingly... I mean, he is an athlete, but for a man of his height, it is crazy to see a man that big running at all.
And I will say, again, with the like shooting as much in like full wides as we do, it doesn't help sell a lot of this stuff. Like when Shaq is in the suit and he fires his like grappling hook for the first time, and he like scales up the building, it looks rough. It's like in a funny way, but it is so. It's like I know the movie's not
the
trying to be
thinnest cable
funny.
known to man.
He's just like.
He's just kind of looking like deadpan. So I would like to apologize for saying this movie has a 12%.
Okay.
It actually has an 8.
Oh, okay,
so I'd like to apologize for the other 4%.
Well, we are not
4%.
looking to spread misinformation.
I'm not here to spread misinformation. Like I said, I tell the truth.
Yes.
Always.
Hey, I never lie.
I never lie. Except about my identity and who you are and where you've come from.
Except for, all the examples of me lying.
Yeah. Except right now, where I'm pretending to be another man.
Pardon?
I rip off my face.
But
to reveal film critic Roger Ebert.
I have a note that says John Henry Irons calling about classified military weapons to a military phone on a payphone. And the general or the colonel even brings up, is this a classified line?
He's like, are you on a secure line? And he's like, that
Blows
don't matter.
Right past it.
Boom, and then like destroys the payphone.
I do like that he breaks it.
Yeah,
I like that we just keep running with like Shaq.
They should have Shaq-proofed
really
it
strong.
like they did the rims in the 90s.
Thank you for sending me that the other day. By the way, I forgot to talk to you about that.
There's a great TikTok that came up right when we were like prepping for this, and I had to send it, but it was just all the time Shaq had destroyed the rims on an NBA backboard. Yes, thank you. Sports.
We know.
Sports. I'm a movie guy, guys.
Yeah.
Cut me some slack. I like the idea of basketball, but I'm white and nerdy.
Hey.
To quote legendary Weird Al.
That's right. That's how you know we're not the most equipped in sports as we're.
No, as I struggle to find the word for backboard. I didn't even say it right this time.
You're good.
They score touchdowns in basketball, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only when they're offsides.
Yeah. Only when they're offsides.
But this is.
He's boom, shatters the glass, home run.
Shaq being really strong is fun. Like he snaps a pool cue, like with his one hand.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "I'm gonna come find you," and just snaps it like a toothpick.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's he just all the elements of him being like a big dude are pretty impressive.
Yes.
But they don't save the movie.
No, they do not.
So he figures that out. There's like a whole sequence where like the thugs like I guess they rob a bank, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they rob a bank. Shaq witnesses it. Car gets flipped. We never see that chick again.
Nope.
One of his, I feel like he's got like 4 or 5 sidekicks that are like, "Dang, Shaq, you a big dude."
Yeah.
What you gonna do now that you're home?
Well, it's because Sparky comes back.
Yeah, Sparky comes back
because he just like picks her up out of the VA.
You need a friend who really picks you up when you're down.
He says, "Girl, you are out of here." He just says like,
Yeah.
"I'm fucking taking."
First,
you,
he
man.
like shatters the window and he's like, "Come on, stop looking out a dirty window."
I also love that everybody cheers.
They do.
Like they're just like, "Yeah."
You would think that they're all just in rehab, like with like presumably like for like injuries, not even like drug addiction.
So nobody knows who this guy is.
No, this is just like a giant dude just like shattered a window and was like, "Them windows are dirty."
Well, it's like they're not privy to the conversation. I just think the fact that everybody cheers is such a hilarious touch. And again, it's like the movie is movies obviously do try to tell you how to feel, right, as you watch them. That is one where you're like, you're maybe leaning a bit too much into trying to tell me how to feel. Like you want us to be like, yay,
heroic
they're reunited.
moment. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Shaq, he's like, I understand. And she's like, no, you don't. And he's like, you're right. I don't. I'm still taking you with me.
I know. Interesting
Like,
choice to be like, so he's already the tallest man ever. And now she's in a wheelchair. So she's half of her actual height.
It's such, I don't know. It doesn't even like really have to do with anything. I'm not that I'm against like her being in a wheelchair and being, all that stuff. Like that's fine. Like I don't have a problem with that being an element.
No.
But it doesn't factor it, you know what I mean? Also because she's barely a character. Like she's just there to like spat exposition and be like, they're right on your tail.
Yeah, they're tracking you because we can't figure out how to cut the movie.
Yeah.
To demonstrate
we'll
that.
just cut to her so we can go back to the other stuff.
Yeah.
And again, Richard Roundtree kind of in a similar. I mean, every character is just kind of there to do nothing.
They're there to comment on what's happening.
Ray J gets a little bit of some stuff by being like, I'm the kid that's he gets the Danny and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles thing.
Yeah.
Where he's kind of getting brought into the villain side. But like, we don't really have anything to do with that.
This movie's got very Ninja Turtle vibes, but not many Ninja Turtles.
What's also not grimy enough. Ninja
It
Turtles
isn't.
is grimy.
I had a note here. I'm like, what's better, grimy LA or grimy New York? But I don't think this is the grimiest LA's ever looked. So I feel like we're losing points.
No, yeah, that's Nightcrawler.
Yeah. Nightcrawler, the LA's never looked more accurate than Nightcrawler.
That's true. So he brings her in. They start working on everything. I think it is Ray J that comes in. He sees them working, and Shaq has this great moment where they're like, Ray J's like, "What are you making?" And he goes, "Gadgets,
stuff."
Yeah, just little trinkets.
Just kind of like circling his hair, twirling it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And then they have
Gadgets.
the Iron Man sequence like you talked about.
Yeah. It's a very slow Iron Man sequence.
How do you feel about the Shaft joke?
The Shaft joke? I thought the Shaft joke was pretty great. Unironically, loved it.
It's okay. I think it's fun. It is similar to like the Doctor Doom thing where everyone looks at him like they're all aware of it being a reference.
They're like, "Oh my god, it's Shaft."
Well, because
he slaps
he goes, "I like the Shaft," and then they're all like, they all turn, and it's like, you don't what?
Yeah. Do you think he said that? Do you think that was in the script? Or do you think he was like, "I gotta remind people where it's at"?
I think the director pitched it.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I think I can't even remember his name. I just said it 20 minutes ago.
Kenneth Branagh.
That would be crazy. Kenneth Johnson? Johnston?
Yes, I think.
I'm pretty sure.
Let's see here. He's a man of the people. Let's see here. Google didn't have it quickly. Kenneth Johnson.
Thank you. And then he goes off and he gets kind of like a Superman the movie thing.
Yeah.
He goes off and saves people. He stops.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of the Superman, I'm here, and the Batman. The cops can't stop him. He grapple hooks a pole.
So overall, I know we talked about it a little bit.
Do a right turn.
What do you think of the design of the suit? Do you think it's good or bad?
I don't know how I feel about the suit.
Okay.
I feel like I want to like it. I don't think I do.
I do not like it.
I think it doesn't help that he's a 7-foot man. I think it just looks really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of wish they had kind of played into the night thing more almost. Like, I feel like that probably would have helped it. But the proportions just feel off.
I also, look, I don't like, I'm into the idea of the hammer being able to do other stuff.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I don't want to see it be a hammer at least once.
Yeah.
You're telling me you have a 7-foot man with like a massive hammer.
And he doesn't bonk anyone on the head?
I want to see him fucking swinging it around. You know what I mean? I want like a lanyard attached to put it on his wrist.
Yeah,
just,
you
like
want some Thor. Yeah.
Just whip it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he just uses it as a gun.
Yeah.
The whole time.
It's not really a hammer. It's a gun.
No,
he's like, I don't do guns no more. Builds a big gun.
Except for a hammer that looks like a gun.
He's like, it's a hammer.
Or the gun that looks like a hammer.
They're like, Shaq, that's a gun.
I do think it's so funny that when he's like, you know, he saves them from that mugging and they're like, thank you, sir. And he's like, you're welcome. And then he gets on an escalator.
He's like backing away. Like,
he just like,
bye.
quietly just like goes up an escalator.
Dun, 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 dun.
I was like, they're not really leaning into the grandiose aspect of superheroes of them doing.
I'm like,
things.
You should have grapple hooked away, bro.
Yes, well, and we got to save that for later.
Yeah, he's got to save it away. So
when they say put your hands up, and the cop goes, well, he put them up. like that, and then they go wow, wow and then
He is flying on rooftops.
It's pretty good.
It's that whole chase later is just essentially a worse version of the Batman Begins chase.
Yeah, very much so.
It's almost, but like the beats are all there, which is what's interesting.
Yeah, or The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, or The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah. Is there one in The Dark Knight? Not really. Not when the cops are like.
Nah, I mean, you could
"Whoa,
argue that the motorcycle
Batman."
and the Bat Pod kind of have similar energy.
Sure.
But he doesn't flip a truck, so
That motorcycle looks like it is 2 inches tall when he is on it.
yeah, it does. Apparently, I was
love
reading Shaq trivia, and apparently there was like a motorcycle company that like built him a custom one for his proportions, and he said it's like the greatest thing he's ever been given because it made him feel like a normal person.
I could see that. Poor guy. Everything is like so super tiny.
Everything, and he's like, oh, finally a motorcycle that feels right.
Yeah, that I can like use as an individual.
I know.
I did also want to shout out, just as we're shouting out little like lines and stuff like that, because we have the car chase, all this other stuff. There's wait, where's the line? Oh yeah, I think it's Richard Roundtree that he says dipped in shit and rolled in breadcrumbs.
Amazing.
Whoa.
Give that script, that screenplay deserves the Academy Award.
That happened. I was like, is that a saying? I need to know if that's a phrase. Also, for a movie that is as like decommy as it is, for someone to say dipped in shit, I like completely,
you broke out of your daze.
I was like, wait, I didn't realize that people were swearing in this.
I didn't realize that people were in a performance.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what? Yeah. And Judd Nelson's up to his stuff.
Yeah.
Just getting, his hands in people. What do you think of him as an antagonist?
I mean, he's doing sinister stuff, I guess.
Selling guns.
He's selling guns. He's putting drugs in the community. No, he's not actually doing that, but
no. But he is.
But the whole thing of like guns in the community just reminded me of Black Dynamite.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to watch that more, I think.
Yeah, Black Dynamite is objectively.
Black Dynamite. I sell drugs to the community.
It's a better movie. It's a much better movie
by like a large margin.
There's a pretty good jump. There's Shaq making.
It's a Shaq length.
Yeah,
jump
him jumping over the building.
Yeah. He has some parkour in that like foot chase.
A little bit.
Like it's minor parkour, I will give you, but the fact that he can do it was actually kind of impressive.
Fair.
Because he not famously, his movie flew under the radar basically, but they couldn't find a stunt double that matched his proportions, so Shaq had to do all of his own stunts.
Good on him.
Yeah.
Pre Keanu and Tom.
Yeah.
He's the foundation for this.
Yeah, he's the foundation. They looked at him and they're like, if Shaq can do it, I can hang off this military grade plane.
And they've all done it, and I'm proud of all of them.
Yeah.
Not that they need me to be.
They're like, who are you?
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know.
Like Star-Lord, man.
Yeah, I'm Star-Lord, bro. Peter Quill, legendary outlaw. But yeah. Judd Nelson's up to his thing. He has that whole hot dog thing with slats.
That was a great line. Hold on, I have it written down.
He's like, I don't eat pork.
Eat the hot dog. He's like, eat the hot dog. Don't be one.
That's right. Oh my god. Well, because it's also such a weird detail.
Amazing.
That it's like Slats doesn't like pork.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't like pork. He's like, it's turkey. He goes, oh, it's turkey.
Yeah, at the end of the movie, at the end, he's like, it is pork. Boom, starts shooting a gun at him.
I was like, what was that?
Yeah, it's not kosher, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose. But yeah.
Yeah,
it's a thing.
It's a movie.
Richard Roundtree drives him around in a van.
Yeah.
Shaq looks deeply uncomfortable to be sitting in there.
They do a Knight Rider where he drives the motorcycle in.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have it in my notes as the next thing, so I assume it happens right after that moment in the movie. This is the thing that I think is genuinely really cool. The mount on the motorcycle for the hammer.
That's kind of awesome.
That happened, and Laura and I both went, "Whoa!" Like,
do you like that the hammer like opens up into like a little like satellite?
100%. I do. I love. He dropped it and then like turned it into the gun, and I was like, actually, you're cooking there.
That's kind of cool. I also think that the suit is magnetic is kind of awesome. That he's like, you got guns.
It is funny. And
although he's just like, oh, you're gonna stab me? I have the knife now.
And it is funny to see, because obviously I know the hammer is metal, so it would attract you. But it is funny that he turns it on, and then the hammer also is on his chest.
Yeah. The hammer goes to it too is really funny because you'd think that they would design that to not do
you would
that.
think he'd
but
still
it's like
want to use it.
Yeah.
That you're taking other people's weapons away so you can use your own.
Yeah, or that at least it would like specifically go to like a spot or something. Or
Sure.
like maybe there's like a thing that when he grabs it, it demagnetizes.
It's a Cap in Avengers 2
yeah,
shield
kind of
kind
like
of thing.
kick flip, kind of situation.
But yeah, but at the same time, again, the hammer just being a gun is kind of boring.
Yeah,
But I do like that.
yeah. The fact that he doesn't really like use it like a hammer is.
Could you imagine if they shot the sonic boom and he
Yeah,
like a baseball?
Well, when I was doing research,
Just
clips
bounce
of
it
him, this character in Superman and Lois, because he appears in there.
He's great in
He
Superman
does use it
Lois.
like a hammer, and it's kind of awesome in there.
Yes, it is.
So
I do. He's Steel and Superman and Lois is cool as hell.
haven't watched it, but rips in that version.
Highly recommend Superman and Lois, a show that has now ended.
Yeah.
But it is quite good.
Every time I see a clip, I'm like, I'm really gonna watch this
a
because
good
it's
time.
really cool. Every time I see something from it.
But yeah, and then the Nazis get alerted that there's a website sale.
Yeah.
Good stuff. I
Yeah,
enjoy that.
there's
It's
a sale.
It's a sale.
It's a sale.
They say it.
Well, it's Black Friday.
Oh well, I guess you got to get your Sonic cannon at 25% off.
I know I did.
Hey, fair. You were smart about it.
I was. I got that, and I got a panini grill.
Smart. I waited for
I
Cyber
had to
Monday.
kill 2 people for it.
But yeah, I'm trying to find my notes to see what
I know.
I was there.
This movie's kind of like, it's like funny because when we pitched it, I thought I was gonna be like really hyped and like, yeah, this movie's and I feel like so underwhelmed by it.
It's not
coming
it's
back
like,
to it.
It's bad that you do kind of laugh at it, but it's not again like a Batman and Robin where you're
No,
like,
it's just
whoa.
it's honestly it's just really really painfully forgettable.
Yeah.
But like when Shaq is doing the things, you are like, what? But it's only counts for about like just 7 minutes of the movie, and it's an hour and a half, which should be breezy, but it's not.
Well, I just want to again call out another line. Because Shaq gets hurt at one point,
Yes.
and they like mend him, and then Sparky goes, "Those broken ribs are really bothering you, aren't they?" It's like I'd fucking think so, yeah.
You would think.
If I was a betting man,
Yeah,
I
probably.
would say that they do hurt.
I like that he has like the Aunt May relationship with his grandma, and she's like, "What happened?" And he's like, "Oh, I ran into something," and she's like, "You're full of shit."
That's so good. I will say them whispering was a strange.
Yeah, I don't know
Because it's a real dramatic scene.
kind of yeah. Well, because it's the souffle.
Yes?
Yeah, they're like, we can't burst the souffle.
Yeah, for those who haven't watched the movie, and I'm assuming if you're listening to this, I don't know how much of you. I would say check it out because
Check it out, because I mean, I don't think I've given it a stirring endorsement, but
But his grandma has this ongoing thing of like trying to bake a souffle, and it keeps getting fucked up.
yeah,
Spoilers: she does in fact finally make it.
yes.
Good for her.
And she opens up a restaurant.
It is hard to do.
Yes,
I will give her that. But yeah,
mastering the culinary arts,
then all
taking
the
up piano at a late age.
walk through fire, walks keep blindfolded. Spy is such a good movie.
I gotta watch it.
That movie's fun as hell, dude. The bloopers too.
The bloopers
are so
rule.
good. But yeah, so SWAT, they all break in.
Yeah,
They arrest Steele.
wild to just like crash through a
They really
grandma's
Christmas
women.
vacation their
Yeah.
way in there. He gets arrested, and the people who he saved from the mugging are like, it's obviously that's Shaquille O'Neal. That's definitely John
Yeah.
Henry Irons.
I'm like, you didn't need to find the gun in his basement to know that was him.
No, it's like it's a 7-foot guy. There's
Yeah.
like probably 2 of them,
Yeah,
maybe.
he's got 22s for shoes.
Yeah. Yeah, they do say size 22, right? Or size
Yeah.
23. But yeah, they're like, well, he did good. We're not going to rat him out. And they don't.
They don't.
Good on you.
They're like solidarity.
And then the cop who was like against him, they have that moment when he saves him or whatever. And then he comes in and he does the same thing.
Same thing. You get like 3 moments of like, I won't rat him out, or is it just 2?
It's 2.
It's 2
And then he goes home.
again.
Yes. And then they're like, we're gonna stop him.
Keep doing it.
Yeah, we're
Just
gonna keep
going
doing the
out
thing
and
that we were
patrolling,
doing.
I think, seeing if any shenanigans are happening.
I'm gonna be honest. I did write a note that just said I am currently disassociating.
Yeah, no, the whole middle of this movie is a bit of a drag.
Yeah, and then we have the third act. They all go to the weapons manufacturer,
Yeah.
like auction sale.
Yeah.
And the Nazis are there. Everybody's there.
Yeah.
Looking at the weapons.
Yeah.
There is that great moment where it's him and Mask Kirkland henchman, the other guy who's in it.
Yeah,
with Judd
the guy with the
Nelson.
deepest voice I've ever heard.
Oh, not that guy.
Which one?
But the guy who runs the arcade thing.
Oh yeah, yeah,
There's
yeah,
that
yeah.
great moment where they're like, he's like, and I'm the only one in control. And he goes, we are. And then he kills him. And he goes, I am the only one in control.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, that's pretty
The
fun.
Discount Foggy Nelson?
Yes, thank you, Discount Foggy Nelson. Yeah, and then Steel comes in, right? Or doesn't he get pulled
Steel
in?
crashes through and is like, haha, I'm here to stop you evildoers. And then Judd Nelson shoots him with a big cannon, I think.
Right.
And then Shaq's like, oh no, you've got my hammer. Whatever you do, don't turn the red switch.
That gun that he's using stops being able to kill people. Did you notice when it starts?
Yeah.
They it incinerates the target.
Yeah, maybe 11 fried it or something.
I suppose.
I'll be generous, help it out a little.
But at one point, even the guy that he kills, the I am in control, he kills that guy, and then he goes, get rid of him, and you can hear the guy straining, and I was like, oh, so I guess he's not dead.
Yeah.
It's like, but didn't you burn a hole in his chest?
Yeah.
I guess he's
just
okay.
fried that.
But
yeah, a lot of people get fried in the face in this movie. There was a guy in a testing scene earlier.
Yeah, that's actually pretty brutal.
Dude, you got messed up on that.
Yeah.
That's right before the lady gets dropped from the elevator, but
yeah, also, when that happened, I was like,
yeah.
And he gives a little bye-bye.
And he's like, bye-bye. And then he's like, hey, you, so you want to work for me? And that guy's like, I guess.
He does have I was like, oh my God, that's a deep voice.
Deep voice, maybe even modulated lower.
Yeah, and then he uses the magnet thing to because he's like, don't push the red button.
Yeah.
It's kind of a Lex Luthor, Superman 2 thing. I'm counting on it.
Don't tell them to get in there. They'll get more powerful.
Yeah.
I know you little freak.
You little fuck. You catty little bitch.
He's like, I saw the Breakfast Club. I know how to beat this guy.
Yeah, he goes, ooh. Yeah, and so he gets his hammer back. They fight everybody.
It's hammer time.
You find out Sparky's wheelchair also has guns.
Yeah, she's tricked it out.
Yeah.
It's got rockets and lasers.
It's got R2-D2 gadgets.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
I like that she just starts spinning and is like, take this. And just starts shooting everyone, including Shaq.
Mario starts playing.
And then he's like, you better get out of here. She's like, is this fast enough for you? Boom, rockets away.
And yeah, Judd Nelson gets sound cannoned into a wall.
Yeah.
And then fire is dropped onto him.
Well, first he sound cannons Shaq, who heroically saves Ray J, and they get stuck in the room. And then the guy with the deep voice comes in, lobs a grenade in. And then he has to do the free throw.
He does the free throw.
Complete his character arc.
Smart. Good writing.
A grenade that doesn't explode until it's in front of the guy with the deep voice. And then he goes, no. as it blows
Is
up.
Padme all right?
So Palpatine throws the grenade.
Yeah.
Darth Vader's like, I'm not good at these.
Judd Nelson's like, don't kill me.
No.
Yeah.
Shaq is like, he's too dangerous to be kept alive.
Dude.
He's got the hammer.
That would be fun.
We have to rotoscope him into that sequence.
Ray J's going, no! That's pretty good.
It's the kid from Kazam.
That's awesome. Who's the kid from Kazam?
I don't know.
Just a kid?
Just a
kid from the 90s?
Just a kid. I feel like it's the kid from Last Action Hero.
They couldn't get Fred Savage?
Yeah. I'm going to look it up now. Kazam's another one I'd watch back and forth with this one as a child, and I love them both, unironically.
I've never seen Kazam.
I suspect it has similar problems. It came out the year before. Let's see here.
Year of Space Jam.
The Year of Space Jam, yes. Let's see here. This kid was in A Bronx Tale, Crank, SLC Punk. Great movie, by the way.
Nice. Someone else, Sparky is in SLC Punk.
Is she really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I saw that on her, because I was like, what else is this girl been in?
Yeah.
SLC Punk.
SLC Punk.
Amongst other things.
Looking at this guy, does a lot of TV these days, but nope, he wasn't in The Last Action Hero, but he was in SLC Punk.
Hey, well, shout out to SLC Punk, a movie you have seen and I have not.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Don't you just love that trailers play and you can't stop them?
That's true. That's how...
I like that the Shaq has a Lego movie credit as himself.
Good on him. Look, I like when Shaq is in movies.
No, it's fun.
I think fun.
Shaq as himself is amazing.
It's just weird to see him doing a dramatic arc.
Yeah, attempting one at least.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Does learning to free throw count as a dramatic arc?
No, kind of. I guess.
Basketball fans, chime in. Does this count?
Yeah, let us know. Scary Movie has a good joke with Shaq.
What's the Shaq joke in that?
They're putting a saw thing, and it's like him
That's
and
amazing.
Dr. Phil, or whatever, and he's like, "Oh shit, man!" And he like keeps having to do it, and he keeps fucking it up.
That's really good. That's really funny.
But yeah, it's not subject to just Shaq. Like it's hard for any person who's not an action actor to be an actor. Michael Jordan in Space Jam.
Yeah. Let's do some drills.
Yeah, like not a groundbreaking performance.
No.
As much as Space Jam holds a big, nostalgic.
He's got a big spot right here in my heart, but
yeah, they save the day. I love when the women, there's like the woman, she's like one of the criminals trying to buy the guns as they're all running away, and she's in the limo.
Yeah.
And the helicopter lands, and you cut to her, and she's stone faced. She's giving absolutely no. It's like she hasn't been told action yet.
She kind of like Gal Gadot in Snow White.
Yeah, I was like, go on, girl, give us nothing.
Yeah.
Like she has no expression at all to being caught.
Yeah.
And then he talks to the colonel.
Yep.
Through voice modulation.
Yeah.
To sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Arnold.
Which is
how it was spelled.
Such a choice.
AHNOLD.
Yes.
In the subtitles.
They do name drop him as Arnold.
Yeah.
I did like the bit where he's like, you guys are gonna think we're in a mall in Cincinnati, and then the person comes in and like, we just found them. They're in a mall in Cincinnati. I thought that was pretty funny.
He's like, it's too late, and he's like, Irons, this is you, isn't it? He's like, nah.
Yep. And then
they go eat a souffle.
That's right. The restaurant. The grandma has this thing
Yeah.
if she wants to open like a restaurant.
Yeah.
And she does.
Oh, and Sparky's wheelchair is a mech suit now that can allow her to stand up, and then
Yes.
they do the most insulting thing possible with the sound at the end with the music.
What do they do in the end?
They play Stand Up.
Oh my God! Yeah, you're right. They do.
Stand Up.
Yeah, that happened. I was like, ooh. Oh, that's right. Because my final note, and this is in reference to that, is literally just says, "Wow."
Yeah.
That's my final note.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, just an insane way to end the movie.
Truly.
Very uplifting, I suppose.
Yeah.
in a
We all have to
fairly inappropriate way.
stand up, I suppose.
Yes. Not Sparky though.
It's what a crazy movie this is. What an unbelievable piece of film.
Yeah.
So, as I feel like
we're
get into
reaching
we need
the
one
question
score.
of we need our one score.
Yes. So where do you stand on getting a Steel 2?
So I gave
Steel Reforged,
so
if you will.
if the question is specifically, do I want to see Shaq come back and do more? I'm actually sad. I want to say yes, but I actually am okay not getting a sequel to this. But a reboot, a proper adaptation of the Steel comic, I'd very much be interested in, with a Shaq in the Richard Roundtree role. I think could be fun. But I gave this a 1 out of 10 on my we need one score.
Got you.
Yeah.
I didn't find this movie like insulting. I just found it kind of like, eh.
Yeah, it's painfully forgettable, and that's kind of the problem I'm having of wanting
I have
to do
fun
one more.
in points, but it's few points.
Yeah,
I think Steel is a cool character.
I think the
He's
character's
great on
very-
Superman
yes.
and Lois. I agree with you. I would love to see the character get some more love in the DCU or whatever in the future. I'm even if it's in the right capacity. Even if we did like a multiverse thing and Shaq shows up like in the comic accurate,
I'll take that. Yeah,
I would do it just because like fuck it. But no, I don't think there's much room for this.
there's really not, because I mean there was barely enough movie for this one to happen. I think
It's also because you've now again. It's like we referenced this with like Spider-Man with how it was being super comic accurate. Allows it, offers it more narrative.
Yeah,
There's nothing really like even I mean like. You're taking so much of there. Like this is not the Steel from the comic books.
no,
Just like almost
No.
entirely. And I think talking about weapon sales or whatever, like you can do that. Iron Man did that. Like I'm not saying that that's not fertile ground for a story.
he needs to fight a Russian with lightsaber whips in the sequel.
And they boarded.
and they boarded.
But
yeah,
it doesn't have anything. My score is a 3 out of 10.
you gave it a 3 out of 10.
I gave it a 3. Best movie ever. No, and I will say our cumulative, including producer Dish,
Producer Dish. Yeah,
is 4.3.
4.3.
Yes.
Is that enough for another one?
I think we've said it has to be above 5.
Okay, cool. So that's a no on this.
Sorry, we've decided.
Decided no more unless
Yes.
it's a full-blown reboot.
30 years later.
Yeah, 30 years later. These are questions that people wanted to know.
We're finally getting to
We're
it.
finally getting to the good stuff.
Yeah, what a crazy
18
thing
episodes in.
that this movie is.
I know, yeah.
I'm glad we're talking about it. I'm glad we've seen it.
And it's like funny because it is like part of the Superman journey of like, how do we, because the 90s was really like a period of like, how do we make Superman work? And, you know, they bring in Tim Burton and they're pitching Nicolas Cage and all these insane things. And, you know, an S that comes off and turns into blades and daggers and stuff like that. And,
Yeah.
you know, there was a version of the script that had like, oh no, that's later. That's not the 90s one. I was about to bring up some of the J.J. Abrams stuff, but I'll save that for next week.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next week.
But yeah, like it's just in trying to figure it out. It's funny that like this one slipped through the crack and also ostensibly killed an attempt for at least 10 years.
Way to go.
Woo!
I mean, granted, I don't think the Burton movie was going to be a masterpiece. Who knows? There's things that
it certainly would have been interesting.
It would have been interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah,
it's a movie we've discussed for years, having not seen it, and now we can
sort of
discuss
ironically,
it having
and
seen
now
it.
re-seeing it, I'm like, okay, I'm weirdly good, I guess.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, which kind of actually bums me out rewatching it this time around. I thought I'd be more like, yeah, and I was just like, what am I watching?
It's baffling, but not in a way that gets me.
Yeah,
like I wish it could go farther. I wish it was more insane.
Yeah. I will take Shaq in more movies, though. Like you said, he's just fun when you see him.
He's a fun presence.
It's like a visit from an old friend.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Shaq, what's up?
He shows up. You know, he's meaning well. He's having a good time or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, next week we're going back to Superman.
We're going back.
He's returned.
Yes. Superman returns.
That's right.
Yeah.
And when he returns, he's just doing the stuff that he did 50 years ago.
Spoiler.
Yep. That'll be a fun episode. I'm excited to talk about that.
It's going to be fun.
I think that's an interesting movie.
That is a very interesting movie. I think there's a lot to talk about there.
Yeah. But for now, we're going to get on our little motorcycle.
With our big hammer gun.
That's right. And we're not going to use it as a hammer.
We're going to not tell Grandma.
Oh, I didn't. Did you?
I didn't.
You didn't?
I didn't.
Dish?
Oh, Grandma knows. Grandma knows. Abort.
Quick. We got to end the episode.
Abort!
End the episode! Thank you for listening to We Need One More.
Be sure to follow us on socials like TikTok and Instagram at WNOM Podcast to stay up to date on upcoming episodes.
And feel free to join our Discord community where you can share your thoughts on the movies we're watching together. That's going to be at WNOM Podcast server with a link in the bio.
Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. That's the best way to support the show and to let us know that you need one more.
We'll see you next week. This podcast is produced by Pilot 9 and 9 Ball Creative.